Hi everybody, we're going to talk about notes from the 8th grade Common Core lesson 3.2, and the focus of this lesson are angles of triangles. We're going to talk about interior angles and exterior angles. The first examples are going to be focusing on interior angles. Interior angles are the angles inside of the triangle. The sum of the interior angle measures of a triangle is 180 degrees. So in order to go ahead and solve for missing angles or solve for an x within interior angles, we're going to write and solve an equation to find x. So in number 1, I already know that the sum of my interior angles is 180. So I write an equation as such. X minus 35 plus x plus 43 equals 180 degrees. I go ahead and I combine like terms. I have 2 x's and then I have 43 minus 35, which is 8. I'm subtracting 8. I have 2x equals 172. I divide both sides by 172 divided by 2. I can do log division over here if I need to. X equals 86. Be careful of the directions. Some directions may say write and solve an equation to find x, but there may be an additional part of the direction in which they're saying find what the missing angles are. So if I'm asked to find what the missing angles are, I would say that the angle measurements are 86, 43, and then I would have to do 86 minus 35, which is 51. 51 degrees. All right, I'm feeling my math is wrong on this, and let me do a quick check. 43, 35, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I did that right. Okay. I'm going to set up an equation on example 2. The interior angles have a sum of 180. Please notice that if there is a boxed off angle, that represents 90 degrees. So I have 90 degrees plus x plus 28 plus x equals 180. I have 2x plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 118 equals 180. I'm going to subtract 180, or 118. I have 62 equals 2x. I divide both sides by 2. X equals 31. So it may say just solve for x. It may say go ahead and find the interior angles. So my interior angles would be 90, 31, and then I would do 31 plus 28, which is 59. All right, so interior angles, making sure you're writing an equation. And then the interior angles adds up to 180 degrees. All right, so now let's talk about exterior angle measures. Exterior angle measures, the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two measures of the non-adjacent interior angles. And you're going to write and solve an equation to find. So if this is my poorly drawn triangle, and usually they're not drawn to scale, and you can't measure them to check, these are my internal angles. This is my external angles. And so it says non-adjacent interior angles. These are adjacent, so you're not using this as part of the sum. These are my non-adjacent angles. So the sum of these two interior angles that are not adjacent is equal to the exterior angle. So I simply write an equation. This interior angle of x minus 5 plus 80 is equal to the exterior angle of 2x. I set up an equation and I solve my equation. I'm going to combine like terms on separate sides. I have 75 equals x. And so my x is 75, and I may want to go ahead and the directions may ask for you to go ahead and solve the angle measurement. So I have 2 times 75, 150. And then this one is 80, and then this is 75 minus 5, which is 70. Okay, so I'm writing an equation. The angle sums of the two internal non-adjacent angles is equal to the external. All right, it works the same way in example 4. I know that 4x minus 20 is the exterior angle, and that's equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So I have 4x minus 20 equals 3x plus 20. I am going to subtract 3x and add 20. I end up with x equals 40. They may ask you to stop there, or they may say, oh, now what are the angles? So I have 40. I have 2 times 40 plus 20, which is 100. 80 plus 20, yep. And then I have 4 times 40, 160, minus 20 is 140, right? 116 minus 20, 140. So this is a lot of vocabulary that you need to be familiar with in terms of, that's not vocabulary, the writing. Make sure you're writing everything down that I've written. Make sure you're familiar of the difference between an interior and an exterior angle. Make sure you know that the exterior angle is the sum of the 2 non-adjacent internal, and then on the other one, make sure that you know the angle sums. The sum of the internal angles are 180 degrees. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Make sure you're writing notes on the side for any questions. Come prepared to discuss it, and then please make sure you write everything down that I've written down, and you may need to start and stop. Have a good one.